So you can think of your blog as your very own newspaper or magazine. It is a place where you can publish content on a regular, ongoing basis. This is so important for your SEO. This is so important for your incoming traffic to attract people that wouldn't know about you in any other way. Let's move into this next piece. So now on the last page, let me go back. On the last page, I referenced a blog and I have a little asterisk next to it. So having a blog is a little bit of an advanced SEO technique. So let's talk about why and how you can use it. So the concept of a blog is it's a place where you can continue to publish information and articles on an ongoing basis, arranged by date. So you can think of your blog as your very own newspaper or magazine. It is a place where you can publish content on a regular, ongoing basis. This is so important for your SEO. This is so important for your incoming traffic to attract people that wouldn't know about you in any other way. It's one thing if you're meeting people in networking and you're giving them your card and they come to your website later. That's one thing. But it's a whole other thing for people that are just on the internet and they're looking for your type of service or product, or they have a question about your type of service or product, and then they find your website because they're searching Google. This is one of the things that can help that the very most, is to publish information and content and articles to your website on a regular basis. So here's a real quick strategy of how you can do that. I know, I hear you. You're saying, CJ, I don't need another thing to do in my business. I've already got 100 million things that I need to do. I get it. I totally get it. And yet, it's something that's so important for your business that you should really sketch out the time to make this happen. And I don't want to add an extra step of stuff you've got to do. I want to make it easier for you. So I want to I'm going to give you a couple ideas on how you can create a strategy, create a systematic approach to this. And so the first thing that you're going to do is write an article. Write an article about topics that you think your people are interested in, or topics that you feel will be helpful to them. And if you can write an article about something, chances are you can write a lot about that topic. So here's my thought. I've got right here, I've got write articles, and then I wrote part 1, 2, 3, and 4, because my thought is, if you can write an article about a topic, chances are that topic itself might have 3 main topics about that topic, and then you could write an article on each one of those subtopics. Does that make sense? So let's say you've got your main topic. I don't know what that is for you. I'm just going to say website design, right? You've got your main topic, website design, but then there might be 3 things under it that you could talk about the website design. You could talk, I'm just giving you random examples right now, right? So let's say I'm writing an article on website design. I could talk about the design itself, the colors, and how it relates to your branding. I could talk about the structure of the website, the code that we're using, the framework, and the hierarchy like we talked about on the last slide. And then I could also talk about the marketing aspect, how you get that information out there, how you can share it with people, right? So if you're writing about a topic, chances are that topic has got 3 points, and each one of those points can be its own article. So here's my whole point. If you're going to write one article, write a really big one and break it into 4 parts. You've got your introduction, what we're going to cover, and then you've got parts 2, 3, and 4, which talk more about the topics you introduced in article number 1. Does that make sense? So here's my point. If you're going to go to the trouble to write one article, make it into 4 articles and save yourself some time. I want you to batch your time. I want you to get more value out of your time. After you've got your 4 articles written, now you can do something. If you've got a blog software, and you probably do if you're writing a blog, and that means you have a content management system, that means you have a back end that you can log into to create and publish those articles. So Don't worry about doing it every week. If you're going to write one article, you can write 4 articles. When you write 4 articles, you can publish them all together. You can sit down at your computer and put them all on your website all at one time. And here's the cool thing. Chances are you can future post those articles. So for example, today is October 23rd. Let's say I sit down, I write that article I was just telling you about website design. So I could go into my website, I could set part 1 to release right now today, and then I could set part 2 to release next week, part 3 to release the week after that, and part 4 to release the week after that. So you see what I've done? I've sat down in one moment to write one article, but what I've actually done is I've written 4 articles, and I've now pre-published them, preset them to publish on my website for the next month. See what I just did there for you guys? I'm not telling you to sit down and write an article every week and go through that whole thing. What I'm telling you is if you can take the time to do it once, you can create a month worth of articles and blog posts for yourself. Doesn't that sound better? Does that sound more appealing than sitting down once a week to write an article? Do it all at once. Publish them all at once, okay? Then you're going to be able to share those on social media, and this is going to get a little bit into our off-page strategy. We'll come back to it in a minute. But as you share this information to your social media, it becomes a link back to your blog. That creates a link back to your website. That's what we want. And while you're doing it, you might as well go ahead and schedule an email blast to go to your list that says, hey, just wrote a great article about website design or whatever, and then a link back to it. So here's my point. If you're going to take the time to do it, go ahead and magnify your effort. If you're going to write one article, let's turn it into 4 articles, pre-publish them. You can do the same thing with social media, preset them to automatically publish for those next 4 weeks. You can do the same with your email blasts, pre-publish those emails to release for the next 4 weeks. So in one afternoon that you're sitting down to write one article, look what we can do. We can turn it into 4 articles. We can publish those onto your website for 4 different release dates. We can schedule social media, maybe 4 to 8 social media posts, also pre-publish those, and create 4 emails that say just released a new article about XYZ and have those pre-scheduled to go out to your email list. You can do this all in an afternoon. You can do this in a couple hours. You can create 4 articles, 8 social media posts, and 4 emails to go out. Now, isn't that a better use of your time? If I could show you how to do that, it might make it a little bit easier for you. Now, you still may have questions on how to do each one of those steps. No problem. Come back to me. Ask me how to do that. We'll cover it in a later show. But I want you to get the point of what we're doing here. So in the first part, I talked about how to set up your website in a structure and a hierarchy that will appeal not just to Google, the robot, but also to the human user that's coming to your website. Now, I'm talking to you about how to use your blog strategically to not only give valuable information to your audience, but do it in a way that you're saving yourself publishing time. Do it all at once so it schedules itself over the next month for your blog posts, your social media posts, and your email blasts. Do it all at once. Don't see it as separate steps. You've got to do all this stuff. Just see it as one thing you have to do. I just got to work on my website for a couple hours, and I'm going to be able to do an entire month worth of work in 1 to 2 hours. That's going to save you a lot of time. That's going to help you do more and do better business. And you're going to feel really great when you know you've got all that material. It's going to automatically publish itself and you don't have to think about it again for another month. Put it on your calendar for next month. Think over the next 3 to 4 weeks about what you're going to write those articles about. Jot down some notes every time you think about it. And then a month later, you're ready to sit down and do it again. This is a strategy you can use over and over again. It's going to put a lot of content on your website, but it's really not going to take as much time as you think it is. And I can help you with those steps. So let me know what questions you have. I've been talking a lot. Let me take a sip of my coffee. We're going to go to the next slide. Check, 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 check. Check, checkity, check, check. Bye.